I know y'all can hear me now. All right, so look, wait, hold on, watch this. Watch. Mm, this, this what I'm looking for. All right, bet. Watch this shit, y'all. Watch this. We're gonna focus on this right here. This right here is called the golden rectangle, right? So one of the things that I have conjectured here is life is conglomerated in a lattice structure of singularity phase shifting locks. Singularity phase shifting locks, right? Quantum singularity phase shifting locks, if you want to get this for real with it, right? So check me out. Now I know it don't look like it, right? But the rectangle, the golden rectangle, is the pentagram, is the 5 point star, right? So when you slice it in half, you get two perfect cubes, right? So this mathematical process is how you get dice, Sudoku, planetary squares, crossword puzzles, right? Chess. Fun fact, there are 64 squares on the chessboard for anybody who doesn't know. Here's a fun one. Is it 64 squared or is it 64 cubed for how many moves or motions there are? Is reality a program? Is it a simulation? I don't know. Let's keep going. So, you feel me? What happens when something that can't be stopped comes in contact with something that can't be moved, right? So let's say this positive and this negative, right? So what if they attracted to each other, right? I say they become superimposed over each other, right? Now, when they become superimposed over each other, right? You know what I'm saying? You get something that kind of operate and move like this, right? So this right here is called an octahedron, right? So, right? So that's the seed that I say. So the octahedron is how you get, you know what I'm saying? Golly, is how you get the trifecta, right? So, long story short, this mathematical process right here is how you get cuboid mathematics. Cuboidal. So when the program goes cuboidal, it goes straight line. When it goes straight line, it goes tesseract. So this is what they call tesseract maze. So this is important, right? Because phi, it rises in a spiral towards perfection, right? That's why top of pyramid, you get the enlightenment point, right? This is tetra is the four base fold of reality. If you look up tetra, or if you look up quote quote delta, it's a it's number four, right? But when you write down delta, it's a triangle, right? So they also recently discovered that the pyramid is shaped like this. So what I'm saying is that pyramid is an obelisk. It's an octahedron, right? One is polarized upwards, one is polarized downwards, right? Do you see the perfect rectangle and the two perfect squares, right? So what I'm saying is that phi has a negative component to it. It's called foe. Foe. I recognize phi as awareness. Foe, basically willpower. But I also don't like to deal with metaphysics in a realm of like this shit don't exist or like it's like some invisible or some shit like that. No. So tetra, if you will, like why there's an eye at the top of the pyramid, right? Just say there's an eye right here, right? But why there's an eye at the top of the pyramid, right? Is because perception is tetrahedral, right? So if you look outwards, you see what I'm saying? It's like a square. But when you look into the horizon, everything goes into that center point. You know what I'm saying? Everything going to that center point. You know what I'm saying? Behind the horizon. You see what I'm saying? So everything start off at this forward base and expand into the one or the singular. But why is it cut off? Just like how we can't see above the horizon, you know what I'm saying? We don't understand what perfection or oneness is or God, blah blah blah, right? So that's how you get foe. Foe pulls in. So at 42 degrees, your perception, at 42 degrees of awareness, reality starts to quantify, meaning the different timelines for the reality foes that don't really exist, right? So that's why I think that's important, because if you are a flat earther, you're wrong. Why are you wrong? Because you're existing in a flat surface reality, right? They said that a straight line can only expand on a flat surface. They said this. They didn't say, I didn't say this. So they said it start off as a dot, an atom, right? And then, you feel me? To get a straight line, it expands outwards into infinity on both sides. That's 180 degrees. So 180 degrees can only happen on a flat surface. So if you are a flat earther, if you are living life on a flat plane of reality, you are phase shifted density locked. You are singularity phase shifted density locked in the past, right? So that's important to know that. It's important to know that because you have to move with progression, evolution, society. You have to move with the human collective consciousness. Consciousness and continence is the same thing. Continence means consciousness. So if you are, you feel me, living in that past, you are helping orchestrate the separation of consciousness, just like how the continents separated. You see what I'm saying? The waters of earth is the memory, the emotions. You see what I'm saying? So what's on the other side of the Arctic wall? If there is something, we most likely won't know. And you gotta take that self journey by yourself on every level to do that. Why is that important to know? Because everything else is spiritual. No matter if we've been to wherever, what the fuck ever, it's more likely that everything is spiritual. But it's also tetrahedral, it's octahedral, it's chestahedral. So what I'm saying is that reality is like a golf ball. It's straight and it's curved. You see what I'm saying? So reality is nested oscillative points of breath, of consciousness, being aware of itself outside of itself while inside of itself, or being aware of itself inside of itself while outside of itself simultaneously. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that phi is a parabola of light or consciousness, and pho is that response, willpower. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say in my equation, tetra times phi divided by omega times 42 infinitely times 1, you know what I'm saying, raised to alpha, raised to the present moment, is the process of light traveling through, information traveling through light and becoming itself, knowledge, you know, awareness or curiosity, becoming information, becoming knowledge, becoming memory. You know what I'm saying? 90 degrees is all about evolution. To move 90 degrees to go upwards in a plane, you got to go up in a plane. You got to get in a plane to go in a plane. You got to go in a plane to go in a plane because you got to ride 90 degrees. But 180 degrees, you get submerged. That's why you got to go into a submarine, because you're going into the subconscious of it all. That's why Earth is really hard. That's why globe is really low, because it's about the lobes of the brain. It's about the heart of reality controlling your perception, media.